Well, hello there, folks. This is Shippy the Explorer. Well, on a very lovely afternoon, broadcasting here from College Park on the balcony, and just enjoying the weather. It has been a little bit hot today and so forth, but then this afternoon, this in the evening here, it has really felt a little bit better, bit more comfortable. I'm just coming to you because for the last few days, I have loved getting videos to you, but the excitement of traveling and thing is not with us right now. We are just waiting to travel in a few more weeks, but until then, I wonder what Shippy the Explorer can bring to you. But before I start talking about maybe a life in the life of Shippy the Explorer and my experience for the last 2.5 years in this program, I just want to say thanks for all of those who have subscribed and shared and liked and give it a tick up. And, you know, it's been a blessing and humbling experience to really travel the world and find videos going from valleys to riverbeds to mountains to lakes to churches in the dungeon, in the holes under the ground, and churches on the peak of the mountain. But I started this YouTube channel because we traveled quite a bit in researching. I'm an avid genealogist for my family and also a writer. And so as I reflect on all my achievements in the past years and recent years, I one thought is coming to me is that I just like to be a person who like to encourage people, my friends, to live humbly, and be true to yourself and love yourself and others. And I always, most of the times, I end my videos like that. But I'm reminded that as I reflect on the all the achievements and things that I've done in my past life, and currently still writing and still producing, but still doing the video, YouTubing and enjoying it. And I'm sure I'm close to 1,000. If I haven't passed it yet, I needed to check videos. But it has been a wonderful experience so far to bring you those things. And but in recent days, as I go through life and reach this age, reaching the age that I am at now, 70. That's all I'm going to tell you. May look a little younger than that, but this is an humbling age where you find that number of your friends are passing and family members have passed, and some are getting ready to pass in transition from this blood and flesh and hair and beauty and activity into another realm that the Bible tells us that most likely it's heaven. If you believe in Christ and believe that Christ came to this earth and really sacrificed himself for us, for our sins. And so we look forward to life after death in that sense. But I'm really reflecting today that that with all my achievements, I should be really grateful, really thankful. And I encourage you also that you be really grateful and thankful for all that you have achieved, you know. And there's a saying that they say, don't use your my own fat and fry me. That means don't compare, I think don't compare yourselves to others who have seemingly achieved and seem like they are wealthy and well off and all sort of things. And because if you do that, then you're comparing yourselves to a destiny path that wasn't handed to you, or you did not follow the track. You weren't able to follow the track where you can achieve as much as you see other people are doing, and you don't want to get yourself bombarded into the state where you're comparing and saying, oh boy, my friends have achieved that, and they are doctors and lawyers and they're barristers and also things, and they seem like they have a wealthy environment or wealth bank, money in the bank, and the family is growing and the kids are achieving, and they seem like they are seemingly well achieved, because you don't want to compare yourself, because your path is different. All our collective parts, we are different individual parts. We have our own path to follow in life, and and some of it is challenging, and some of it is rewarding. But once you start to compare yourselves with other people, you know, you look at some of the millionaires or billionaires, and you say, "Oh, how comes you're rich and you're not rich?" Then you're putting yourself in a state of mind where you're stressing yourself out, because their achievement and their path that they followed it wasn't meant for you. So what we have to do is look at our path and be mindful of it and give thanks for what we have achieved. So that's what I've come to. I've realized that for a long time, but recently I realized that no, I really have to really be thankful for what I've achieved. And when you look at your achievement and really analyze where you are, you realize that some of us have done better with the little that we were handed. I talk about one time already coming from the mountains of Jamaica, and a boy running around and looking after the goats and pigs, and no cows, but goats and pigs, and climbing the trees and going through the back bushes and the mud and the swamp, and getting water grass for the pigs, rotten breadfruit, ripe breadfruit, yam and banana, leftover potatoes from the fields, and and going down into the other section of the fields and picking taya and all. So some of you, well, you'll know what is that. And you come up in the old days. I grew up in the old days where we boiled food for the pigs, and I talk about that in another video. And then leaving elementary school or primary school, that was a dunce as a bat. Just before I left, dunce as a bat. And for some reason, it seemed like my mind opened up, and by the time I reached high school, thanks to all my uncle and all the teachers who encouraged me to really stay with a little bit more education and really go through high school and some college at CAS, some years of CAS, and then became a teacher. So from the humble beginnings, I have achieved that from back then. And then we migrated with I think it was maybe $100 or so in our pockets, and a suitcase and a barrel and a box, and brought my wife and a child to United States. And for 40 something years, we have gotten into this society and raised the kids, and now we have grandkids. You can see them on some of the videos running around and all that. And and then after a while, I started being a genealogist for the family from 1972, and then that evolved into a book, and then by searching for a family, it turned into another book by book two, which searching myself and seeking a connection to family. Because if you get my book, Three Fathers in the Life of a Child, from Amazon, you realize that the life that I started out with was a lot of secrets in there. You know, I'm one of those kids who did not grow with their biological father, and who was rejected by father by name, and then was lucky enough to get my third father. So that's what it is. So I've been able to write book one, which is a family book, and then book two, Three Fathers in a Life. And in searching for family in a genealogy and traveling this world, I've written this third book called Going Down Under. So, but now I'm a YouTuber traveling around the world, and started traveling around the world for that reason. And then we realized that YouTube was able to give us the platform to really record my trips and share it with the world. So that's what Shippy the Explorer is really about, sharing my experience with the world. But going back to the topic of achievement, I realized that, and it's recently, that you cannot really look on the achievement of others and compare and think and feel jealous and feel, unachieved, that you want to be like them, because you never know the situation, you never know the true condition, never know the true lifestyle and experience that's going on in that household, wife and husband, or single wife, and kids. You never know. Each household has its own experiences, and if you compare and look on the outer achievement and said, okay, all right, I want to be a billionaire like them, and maybe when you say, all right, and God say, okay, I give you the experience of John Brown, who is a billionaire. And when you get the money and you start to look at it, and you realize all the headache and all the trauma and drama that goes around all that's happening in having that money, and all the people that's interacting in and out with that family. So never you wish for another man's kickle of fish, I would call it. Never you wish for another man's achievement. And that's a story that I want to bring to you this afternoon. Because I look at, and always use, there's a plant down there that I always use this as an analogy. I got two plants, which are two fig trees from the church. Two little things, maybe 6 inches high, and I brought them and I planted them on the bank down here. I'll show you. And I planted one over there, and I plant one over here. And the one I planted over that side, it never moved more than 6 inches in 6 years. never moved in 6 years. And then the one over here, you can see how majestic it is. It's big, it's bearing, it's producing, and I compared that with life, and I said, you know what? That's what it's about. Two brothers. You used to say two brothers or two sisters or siblings are planted in the same environment, same household, same mother and father, same grandparents or whatever it is, and you're eating from the same pot. You're getting the same exposure to education or lack of education, and and you know, you're in the same envelope in terms of environment and achievement and experiences, and you're surprised. One doesn't move, doesn't achieve, doesn't move, doesn't progress, doesn't explore, doesn't expand, doesn't build on what the foundation that they have. And then the other one uses the same meager meals, the same water, the same educational standard, the same exposure to words and knowledge and all sorts of things, and you see they come blooming, blossoming, and achieving. What is that? Is that luck, or is that environment? Is that um, uh, yes? Is the environment in controlling that person and making one achieve and the other one doesn't achieve? What is there? Is it luck? Well, yes, I have to ask that twice. You know, what has prevented one from achieving and one has achieved? And then you look at it, you said, so you come right back to the individual mindset of one person, and the luck and the encouragement from outside bombarding both people. But one is accepting the encouragement and the instructions as it comes along, and using the mistakes that that he or she is confronted with each day, and learning from those. And that's and the other one is repelling all that, because of some reason. Is it mental reason why the other person is repelling, or is it the mindset of the other that blocking all that instruction? And so you'll find that those two people, just like two plants, the two plants, they're only somewhere to 20 feet from each other. So the soil can't be that different. The rainfall that falls, and the wind that comes, and the air, the nitrogen that comes in the same area, they experience the same effect by the animals, and you see one is, in terms of the plant, not striving and producing, and the other one is just stagnant and dormant, just stay there. So the ability to absorb and take instruction from, whether from friends or family or strangers, or take the general knowledge and the common sense from your own self and use that to progress, is very important. So when that doesn't drill into your mindset, then you'll find that um, one person doesn't achieve and one achieves. And then the one who achieves, the one who doesn't achieve, then would look on the one who achieves sometimes and say, oh, why me? Why I didn't? And so if you do that, you often run into the danger of putting yourself in a mental condition where you sometimes get jealous, sometimes get hungry of the next person, and sometimes that mentality and thinking really have put a toll on your physical body and mental body, and so and also the spiritual body. So I bring you this word this evening to talk that although I look at some of the YouTubers, friends, and some people that I know, they have thousands of subscribers, and we started out the same 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and some have 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, and Shippy the Explorer is still on the 2,000, but getting close. But I look at it, the experience, another way, that have done the work, have gone across this length and breadth of this beautiful earth, and have met hundreds of people, and have my experience in interacting with men, women, and kids, donkeys and birds and wild animals and tame animals across this world. That experience means a world to me. That experience is I'm so appreciative of what I've achieved in that sense. So, I remember going through the backland of Australia and just observing the sky at night and eating kangaroo meat and looking at the sand and into the desert and just wondering what is this? How wild and desolated some part of this country, this world is. And then I went over into Tasmania. I remember going down into Tasmania, and when you go into Port Arthur and look at the prison there, which is now a historical site, and get the history and see where the British government would drop men, and mostly men though, off in this desolated country, and look at myself and said, and then I took a boat and went over to the island where they would bury the prisoners, and say, there's an end. You're born in Europe and you're taken to Tasmania and locked away and maybe worked until death, and then your body doesn't reach back. It's like a dead end, but obviously those spirits are we believe in the spirits have gone back and touched onto the souls of family and friends. Yeah. So when I look at those things, and another good place was I always talk about the recent trip of Ethiopia and Kenya. Going into those countries and interacting with the people, and just went into Lalabela and Oxum and see and get connected to the history and see the people. And I talked about it, but in Oxum, where they think the Oxumites or the current Oxumites are still they say they are antagonistic against the government of Ethiopia. But I felt the most comfortable in that part of the region. So the experience of going in there in those regions, I've taken those experience and really love what I've done. So, what I've done with this channel, YouTube, it, Shippy the Explorer, going around the world, and that's what I've taken. I've looked at those wonderful experiences, and have have I've learned to appreciate that. To me, that's one of the things what it's all about. One of the main thing it's about. And getting the subscribers is also important. But if you're watching this right now, you like what Shippy's Explorer is saying to you, just like, share, and subscribe. Yes, we need you, but to be thankful, what I'm getting out of all of this is the fact that I am reaching out and touching people across the face of this world, and giving God thanks that have been lucky to really physically get around. And one time when I went into the mountains of Jamaica a year or so ago, and almost a year now, a little over a year, and I was determined to climb up the hill through the bushes into Hapiot, and my hips were damaged. They were gone. We stopped down the side of the road and have my wife's cousin, to cut me a long stick and the staff of life. And I used that stick to cross the river, climb the mountain, and more than 2.5 hours up the mountain and back. Another hour down, an hour and a half back down. And that was a great achievement, because when I reached ancestral land, then I had a sense of connection to the past. And I wouldn't give up anything for not having that experience. So I truly want to say thanks to God for giving me the strength and health at this time of life where I'm able to travel around and in reaching out to people. And then when I come back and get in front of the mirror, then I'm mindful of my friends and family and things who are facing tough situations. And my mind is always with you. My mind is always with, especially the ones that I know about. In general, I would say you be blessed, and God bless you, and take care of yourself and others. But for the ones that I know that are struggling with physical, mental, spiritual issues, not able to come out into the sunshine and walk around your house in the early morning to get the sun to touch your skin and give you vitamin C and good thoughts. You're not able to come out in once in a while, not in the lightning and thing, but if you can put on a shorts, and when the rain is falling, especially in the Caribbean, and put on your shorts and go out into the sunshine. If you're up in the mountains and beside the rivers, and put on your bathing suit and go into the cool stream that's running from up in the hills, and immerse yourself in those waters. If you're not able, I'm mindful for the ones who are not able to take care of themselves. And I'm mindful for the ones who are facing difficulties in this life, because you have yourself. And then a lot of times ourselves are embedded in between parents, and then on one side and kids on the other, or 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 say work on one side and family care on the next. So you're a sandwich child. You're the sandwich child, and a lot of times I call ourselves, a lot of us, sandwich kids. But if you're not able to do those things, and I'm been mindful of what you're facing, and I send a prayer and a good thought and good vibes to you, and I use this platform. I'm using this platform, to say, this is what Shippy the Explorer. Maybe this is a calling to say, be good to yourself and others, and have good thoughts in your mind. But when it comes to physical thing, if you can move, get your muscles moving, whether inside or outside your house, then that's a good thing. And if it's a stressful situation, you can get out sometimes and go down into the park and walk around and meditate. Go into another park where there's a waterfall and listen to the flowing water. Get into the park and listen to the rushing wind. Use nature to soothe your spirit. Then that's what Shippy the Explorer is encouraging you to do. So as I reach this stage and find that we are at a transitional point of not getting the video that a lot of people are used to, I have to find something to say to you. This is the talk, or the word that I want to put out today to people, to say, don't use the fat of somebody to fry them, and don't compare yourselves to others. You can do it a little bit, but not because, as I said before, it's not a good situation. Learn to live within your lane, and within your lane, as you go along the lane, stop to smell the roses. Look at the asters. This is the first bloom of the hybrid asters. I come out especially beside this one because this is the first bloom of the season. Learn to appreciate nature. Learn to appreciate what good there is around you. Even if you hear the cicadas, you just listen to it. Listen to them and wonder what they're doing. Because a friend of mine in Jamaica, they told me that it's the female making the noise, and they're calling. So it's not noise. It's noise to us, but listen to that. It's a female calling for love, saying, "Come get me, my husband," or "My husband's come and get us." And so the sound of the cicada is a sound of love. The other sounds of the flipping of the birds and also the singing of the birds, it must be communication. Learn to grasp yourself and tie yourselves to some of these things on your path, on the path that you are on. As I said, stop and smell the roses and learn to appreciate what you're doing, and that's your experience. That's your experience. It's don't look over next door and say, over there look greener, the grass, because psychologists or the psychiatric or psychology or the philosophy of all this is say the grass always seems to be greener on the other side. But is it? Maybe not, because when you really try to step over there and step into another lane where you think is greener, you find that the grass is being drowned by water. It's swampy, and you cannot function as a person. So you'll find a different situation where it's not good. That's not where you want to be. So come back into your lane and enjoy life. Enjoy the beauty of this world. Enjoy people. And then that's another thing too. It's as we go through this time in history, we have to be sometimes mindful and leave things that you cannot solve. Leave some of these the issues of politics and issues of society. Leave them alone, because you're draining your spirits, draining your mental and physical and spiritual body. Draining. If you can't do something about certain situation, leave it at home. They said up to this week we're saying leave it up to God. One of the tapes, we were facing and still facing a situation, a business situation in a nearby town, and my wife and I were saying just leave it up to God. And on that day we got a step further forward, so we're leaving the rest of it to God, and we are hoping that it will come through. We're not dropping it. This is not the point I'm making, is that you just drop things in life and don't plan around your problems and do things. You can do something about it, but when you do your best and you plan and you have you follow the right path and you got the instruction from the experts, and the experts say do this, do that, do this, and you have done it, and you see that the rest of the society or the rest of the people who are involved with all that to get that plan up to scratch, they are dragging their feet, then you leave it up to God. And that's one of the things that you have. If you have faith, then sometimes, most times, it will work out. And most times that's a simple prayer. Leave it to God. And it's a simple prayer. Leave it to God. And that's and you find that once you do that, then you're taking it off your plate and you're giving it to the greater powers to work through. And at the same time, when you get the instruction from the greater power and said, okay, this stage is here and let's do this and do that, then you make your move and you take care, and you'll find that things will work out. So I've given, this is like a annual anniversary talk or mid-year talk to my subscribers and for those who are coming on for the first time. Just a word of encouragement to say that stay within your path and your experience, and don't look over to the other track. You know, as a track and field person, where you're in your lane. If you think that the other person's lane is shorter and you're going to step over there and run in that lane, you're probably making a big mistake, because most times all the lanes are seemingly the same when you start. The start is always the equal thing. As you move through your path, individual paths, then you're facing different situations, and you don't want to look over into the path, because if you look over the one thing, you're going to be distracted and you're going to lose the race. You lose your personal race in doing that. So don't look over into the other path. Stay within your lane. And so, as I encourage you as always, just be good to yourself and others. And as we go forward in bringing you more videos around nature and people and life and places and things. We Shippy the Explorer is hoping to bring you all that I experience. I want to bring it to you. I want to present it to you. Um, and I don't I don't know if it's bad. I don't say about present all my bad experience, but if it's a good thing and it's educational and it's spiritual and help you to uplift yourself and make yourself better within your lane, then Shippy the Explorer, I'm looking forward to that, to continue in bringing you these videos from across this beautiful world, this earth of ours. And I do think if I could get into space too, I would probably get up there too, because that's another entity, that's another level of things, level of stratum. That's another level. You look up there and you're up in space. Well, I get a little of it when I'm flying 40,000, 38,000 feet above this earth across. And I look down. And sometimes I can't even see a human figure because we are so high up. And I'm saying, what a world. All these activities and drama is going on down there. And sometimes one man or two men or a woman or something think they are better than the next person, and they are trying to, or think the next person shouldn't achieve, and they're trying to step, and they call it in a container where we are the crab effect. All the crabs, each crab is grabbing to the other leg of the other one in the same pot or same pan and trying to pull the next person down. And that's what happens. So when you're up in the space, up in the air, in the airplane here, looking down, sometimes you wonder, when you come down, you land, and you see how people interact with one another, then you're amazed. You're sometimes frightened to see how we are treating each other. And that's another story where I would say, we are not doing the best thing for others. A lot of us are in the frame of mind to pull others down, to disencourage, to say bad things to others. But in the act of Shippy the Explorer says, be spiritually uplifted, be thankful for what you have achieved, stay in your lane and understand and listen to the sounds and smell the roses and understand what they mean. Understand what they mean. And if you interpret them that way, then you'll find that you'll move from one flower to the next, from one situation to the next. And at the end, you'll find that you'll reach the end of your journey a better person, a more uplifted person. So we close this talk, and I said, looking forward to bring you more videos in the near future. And as we go along, I want to be true to myself, true to you, that whatever I do, it will be spiritually uplifting, encouraging, and say, love yourself, be good to yourself and others. And that's it. I close this out and talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for bearing with me. And whatever you have grasped good out of this speech, I say thanks for it, because a lot of it is spiritually led. Bye for now. See you. The sun sets. Shippy the Explorer says, bye for now. By Ostas. I'm going to take a smell from that. Not supposed to, but I'm going to. Bye for now. Take care.